this?
Yeah, welcome to Toasted Lavender. This is the podcast where we talk about queer shit and drink beer.
Beer shit.
Cheers to beers.
Queers and beers. Queer shit and beer shit.
Queer shit.
Queer shit, beer shit.
Queerbs.
Beer
I like
shit.
queerb shit.
Queerb shit with a
Queer
B.
shit. Yeah.
Well, today, Kai and I are drinking the Gnar from Brewery X.
And it's spelled with a G, is it not?
Yeah, Gnar. It's the Gnar.
Gnar.
Double hazy IPA with Nelson and Mosaic hops. I haven't tried it yet.
Sounds good.
Do you want to talk about the beer that you're drinking?
Okay. Lisa's surveying the can.
Lindsay and I are drinking Metaplex from Unsung Brewing Co. in Anaheim, California. These are both beers that Kai and I brought back from our recent trip to California. And this was our favorite beer from this brewery, which was a really badass comic book themed brewery.
To be fair, every beer that I had from them I really liked. None of their beers were disappointing to me.
Yeah, they were all really good. This was my favorite, so I made sure we brought some back because we had it on draft.
I hope you have more.
We don't. This is our last can.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It is.
All right.
Okay.
So really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let me clear
So the Metaplex is an IPA with Mosaic hop ninja. That's what it says on the can.
What do
I
you
don't know
think
what
that
that means.
Okay.
There's like this whole story. There's like a beer origin on the side because it's all comic book themed. It's 6.5% Flexin with 100% Mosaic hops. Metaplex packs a fruity punch. This West Coast style IPA relies on a single hop to unleash a multifaceted barrage of flavor and aroma. I really loved this beer. And if you're ever in Anaheim, if you're at Disneyland, this is a few blocks away, and it was a really nice place to just like chill after being in the park. And they had great beer and like really cool stuff. They were really nice.
Well,
this beer's great.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
This beer's fine.
I think this one's fine.
Sorry, this one's great.
Well, it's time. It's
Well,
about
can
time
we
for us to
share?
do a switch.
Can we swap?
I don't know if I want
I
to.
don't. I've only had like one swaggle.
Mm-hmm.
This was probably my favorite
I'm
beer.
not gonna drink it all. I'm just gonna do a
Have a
little
swag.
tradesy with you for a moment.
I also want to say that there's like a really cool little area where Unsung is located in Anaheim, and it's right across the street from a food hall. So you can like go and get one of like 12 different restaurants.
Wasn't it like right across the hall? It was.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's across the street. Across the hall is a wine bar.
Oh,
so they
that's
have
right.
one half of this building is wine and the other half is a brewery.
That's right.
A wine bar sounds very dangerous. Sorry to cut you off,
No,
but
that's fine.
It does sound.
But it's like, go get your food and you have all these choices in this. It was very similar to what we experienced in New Mexico. Here's our New Mexico reference.
Yes.
So
I need a sound. We need a sound effect for New
We
Mexico.
Can we just do like
is it
a
like a yeehaw?
Yeehaw.
Maybe
like a rattlesnake rattle?
Ooh, a rattlesnake.
Or like a whip.
of all the guitar strings, just like
Everything Southwest.
Yeah, anything Southwest.
Okay. It's a cool brewery, and I'm glad we got to go there.
Well, it's delightful beer.
It's
this is really good. I'm going to say it's much better than the
brewery
than the
X
Gnar.
Yeah. Yep, it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say there's something a little weird on the end of this. I don't know.
I don't know.
So should we rate?
What's unfortunate is now that I'm comparing them to each other, which is not good for the
That's
Gnar.
not fair.
Well,
I'll try to be
Brewery X is
impartial.
also in Anaheim, just so you know. So they're direct competition.
I would give the Unsung beer here. What is it called? Metaplex.
Yeah,
Probably 4.25.
Same. I would
Yeah.
too.
I would do a 4.5.
Yeah, I would do 4.5.
Well, all right. It
Here
gets
we
a
are.
4.5
Okay,
then.
4.5. Cheers.
Cheers. Should we reach out to them on our social media and be like, hey?
They gave me a lot of stickers
you.
because I bought a lot of beer over there. So they
Yeah,
gave me- She
it
hooked
was
me up
there
with
were
the
a bunch
swag.
of queerdos working
Yeah.
the counter.
Nice.
Too, which
Okay.
we always love to see that.
Queerbs.
Queerbs. There are a bunch of queerbs working the table.
All right, I'm going to switch you back. Drink as much of that as you want. It's a little higher ABV, but
I did a big swag.
Okay.
The Narnar.
So
I'm going to go like 3.5 on this.
here's what's interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of IPAs nowadays. They're all
Hazy's, New England. Yeah.
I'm
So,
over the hazy. I'm so tired
the
of the
Metaplex
hazies.
is just an IPA.
I like just regular IPAs.
And the
I'm in
IPA.
agreement with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are still some hazies that I like for sure, but like
it really
I
has to
agree
stand
with you.
out.
I'm ready to have just like the crisp.
Yeah.
Mm,
More balanced, right?
yeah.
Where New England IPAs are a little sweeter,
Mhm.
Yeah.
got a little more like chewiness
Yeah.
in like a
I don't
not
wanna-
good way.
I don't want to chew on a beer.
I have a hard time eating food with those types of beer.
Yeah.
Like it like fucks with my palate.
Yeah.
I want a regular ass IPA when I'm like having a beer with a meal.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
doesn't like
And that is a good ass regular
that
IPA.
unsung.
regular ass.
regular ass
Good
good
ass,
ass good ass
regular
regular ass
Yeehaw.
Beer
crispy IPA.
Crispy.
Crispy
I
ass.
like
Yes.
IPAs crispy.
Crispy ass. IPA ass
Oh
beer.
my god.
I'm gonna say that NAR for me is like a 3.25.
Okay.
Are you really gonna? Is it just because you're drinking that?
Yeah,
It might
sure
be.
is. It's
I think
absolutely
it is.
influenced by
I'm
that.
gonna stick by my 3.5.
Yeah, I'm 3.5. It's fine.
What about
We're
you,
giving
Lindsay?
it the higher.
I
rating.
wouldn't dump it out or anything.
Hold on. Well, hold on. Can I taste it one more
Sure.
time? I'm gonna try to be impartial. I'm trying not to swallow into the microphone. I don't know. It's really sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's sweet and grainy and like
chewy.
It ends a little too sweet. I don't think so. This is Nelson and Mosaic.
yeah.
That's interesting because this is a Mosaic.
I know.
That unsung beer is the winner of the
Yeah.
evening. That's delicious.
All right, I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay.
right.
Okay.
3.5.
For the
3.5
NAR.
it is.
for the NAR.
Unsung. Shout out.
Before we move on, I just want to give Birdsong a shout out for bringing us some yummy beer from Moab Brewery.
Moab Brewery.
We had a Scotch ale before we started.
We did.
We sucked it down,
We sucked it down.
and we just want to say thank you very much to Birdsong.
Thanks, Mom.
Well, I just want to let you know that we didn't introduce ourselves. So,
We can do that now.
well, let me just say that we today are doing our part 2 of Prince.
Yes.
I just want to say thanks for joining us yet again.
Yet again.
I'm back on my shit. My name is Alyx. My pronouns are she, her.
Kai, he, him.
I'm Lindsay, and I am still going by she, her.
I'm Lisa, and I am also she, her. I just want to let it be known that we will probably be singing as much this episode as we did last episode.
It will happen.
It's completely acceptable.
We are going to be starting episode 2 with the album Dirty Mind. It was released October 8th of 1980. Here's the cover.
Oh, sexy.
Before any of us were born,
Yeah, that's true.
still.
I want you to describe this cover.
Is this what number album?
3.
The third album.
Third
from
album.
Prince.
And
Okay.
it's called Dirty Mind.
Dirty Mind. We have Prince. He's not wearing a shirt or pants.
But a jacket.
He's got little bikini bottoms on and like kind of a trench coat with the like studs on his right shoulder.
It's a
And-
sexy trench coat for
Well,
sure.
I'll let you say that. And then he has a bandana on, which I think is,
The
Fun.
sexiest part.
yes. If he didn't have that, then, I don't know.
So,
Yeah, that really does tie it
what
together.
is in the background of this? Because I've had a hard time figuring that out.
I feel like it's mattress springs. It's a top mattress. It's a top view of a mattress
I've never
spring.
thought of it that way, but I've always thought of it as like
It is.
speaker, like some kind of speaker, like computeristic speaker thing. But you're exactly right. It's a
there you go.
mattress.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just like laying on top of a
Those
mattress
are
spring.
springs.
Well,
Wow.
you're welcome. And
Yeah.
we should talk about the back of this.
Oh, yeah. That's when it gets good.
I don't know if he's actually wearing these thigh-high tights. And
I think they're
just
thigh-high
airbrushed
boots.
on.
Either way, he wants you to
He does
think
have
he's
boots
wearing
on.
them, right? And that's the important
And he doesn't look like he's wearing anything.
he's got his little bikini bottoms on,
Okay.
right.
if that's what you
And
meant.
his bandana.
It is.
But he's laying on his back. It's like a side view, but he has thigh-high boots on.
Or just some
And the
sort of
titles of the
pantyhose.
songs are spray painted on the wall.
Yeah. Do you think they had to be, right?
They were really written.
They were really written
This
on
was
the wall.
1980.
There's
They-
no
there's no
Photoshop.
Yeah, there's no special
How did they
effects.
get this photo, though?
They probably
very
rented a
black and white.
house and
Black and white photo.
spray painted the wall.
And had him late. Yeah. Yep.
You know what I think's
exactly what
interesting about his pose is his little cross-legged thing.
He looks so confident, but very queer to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Prince is a queer icon.
Which is why we're talking
That's
about
why
him.
we're here. This is the first, in my opinion, super Princey, quote, Prince album. And it was the final album contracted by Warner Brothers in that initial deal that we talked about last time, where he
The
signed like this
album deal.
big giant deal. It was for 3 albums. This is the 3rd album. And the label needed this record to be a huge hit because the last 2 like didn't really make it as high on the charts as like the label wanted it to, Prince wanted it to.
Like, just
So-
not as mainstream as they
Yeah,
wanted.
part of it was that they were marketing it as a very niche album. Like, if you'll recall, they were like black charts and like they called it like a black album. And Prince wanted to be known as like a pop artist. So the label needed this record to be like monstrous. And
Monstrous.
it was.
Can you flip it over?
Sure.
I need to remember the songs. Okay.
Prince's first 2 albums were good, but did not perform as well as anyone expected them to. And this was actually the first album recorded at his home in Minnesota.
Maybe that's his wall with the spray paint on it.
It might have been.
Minnesota.
Sota.
Minnesota.
The label, the Warner Brothers label, had a little bit of back and forth with Prince about the sexually explicit nature of some songs.
I wonder why.
Like the Do It All Night. Was that the one, do you think? Or
It could have been Head.
Do you think it was Head?
It could have been Head.
Isn't this the album with
the song called Sister?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It could have been any of these.
It's pretty explicit compared to the last 2.
Yes.
He's like, this is who I am. I'm ready.
It was also a gradual turn, though. I feel like each album has successfully been
Yes.
just like peppered in just a little more. and
If
a
you think
little
about his first album, there was none of this like explicit stuff. It was just like disco-y, feel-good
And
music.
it was more cheesy.
It was more cheesy, which
Yeah.
I love,
yeah.
but it was no Head
or Sister
or Sister.
Uptown.
or Do It All Night.
I love this album. It's great.
I also love it. I agree.
In 1981, Prince said, quote, "I wasn't being deliberately provocative. I was being deliberately me."
Oh.
And
All right, Prince.
yes. The content of this album has been credited for opening the doors for other sexually explicit albums in the future. There's a song on this album called Sister, which we've kind of talked about, alluded to, and it's very strange and incesty.
Are you going to read us the lyrics again?
No, I don't
It's
want
icky.
to. There's no reason for me to
Frankly,
do that.
it's icky.
Well, the last one was icky too.
I know, but
It's a new level of icky. So you're just skipping over the most icky?
Yeah, I am.
Anyone that's listening can Google the lyrics of Sister, but
yeah.
it's incesty and that's icky.
I'm not. Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not.
I feel really weird when I sing it, but that doesn't stop me from singing it.
Well, you don't have a sister.
That's true. If I did, maybe I wouldn't sing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Wow.
I know.
We're all like, we all have sisters, so.
Yeehaw.
Critics love this fucking album.
Oh.
And
It is kind of a fucking album, isn't
well,
It is.
it kind of is. Look at this guy.
Wearing his bikini shorts.
He has like a combination innie outie belly button.
Mm-hmm. He
say
does.
that.
He
Sorry.
does.
Oh my God,
He
does.
does. You're right.
I hope he grew out of that.
I'm sure he didn't.
I don't know. Dirty Mind is considered the bedrock of urban black music of the early 1980s.
Oh, wow.
Ken Tucker from Rolling Stone called it, quote, cool music dealing with hot emotions.
Oh. That's a fun quote.
Looking at the lyrics to Sister and
Yeah. Is that why we're not reading them, Lisa?
Do you want to read them out loud?
no.
Okay. Well, I don't either.
Okay.
Is there any sort of context we can give that song in terms of, was there controversy at the time, or was America still so
I know that
ridiculous that we just glossed over it and didn't have any questions at the time?
Well, no, people had questions. I read an interview. I didn't take notes on it, but I did read an interview that was like, is this like an autobiographical song?
Okay.
Which, why do you ask that question?
Because
It's very explicit.
yes.
And Prince said, yes, it is autobiographical. Like, this isn't made up. This isn't like a story that he's telling himself or telling anyone else. This is like his life and how he's lived it. And I think that's horrifying.
It
It's
sounded
really
horrifying
bad.
in your voice.
It's not as bad as the Bambi song.
It isn't?
Well,
Because you read the
Not
lyrics to the
ethically.
Bambi song and you won't read this one.
Yeah, but the Bambi song at least seems like, or no, I mean not the Bambi song. Like the Bambi song's horrible. Like it seems like it's like assault. Like it doesn't seem.
it's a little assault.
It's icky and it makes me feel really icky and like the vibe of this. I don't know. I don't know. I can't.
Mixed in with like every other song that's on this album, I just don't have a lot to say about it.
Well,
It's weird,
It's
but-
icky. It's icky.
It's weird. I know.
So I'm assuming it's sexual relations with your sibling,
the
Yeah.
older sister.
the context of the song.
And I will tell you that he lived with his older sister between the ages of, I told you he got kicked out at like 13 to
Okay.
16 years old. He moved to New York City with his sister, where she was like 30 in her early 30s. And he was trying to get into the music scene in New York City, living with his sister for, I think it was about a year, maybe a little less than a year. And then he moved back to Minnesota before he got his record deal.
Okay.
I don't know.
So it was probably during that time.
How much older?
This is an interesting
Well-
quote.
If he was 16 and she was like 32.
Oh, so that was it. Sorry, I missed
Yeah.
the ages.
Yeah.
So, like, this is a direct quote from him. That's why I stopped doing interviews. I started and stopped abruptly because of that. People weren't taking me seriously and I was being misunderstood. Everything I said, they didn't believe anyway. They didn't believe my name. They didn't believe anything I said. So, like, that was his...
It's confusing because, like, he says, like, oh, well, you're not taking me seriously. And then people are like, okay, so seriously, like, you're
Did you fuck your sister?
fucking your sister? And he's like, you don't understand my work, my music. It's like,
Yeah, and then he, like,
Okay.
he, like, very distinctively says that this is, like, autobiographical.
yeah. Autobiographical.
We've been over this.
God, I
think.
can't say that word.
Yeah. So it's
These are true
confusing.
things, but...
It's confusing, but I take it as like this happened and I don't feel good about it. And
Well,
big ol' yikes. Big
Do we know
yikes.
anything about this sister
Nope, I don't know.
in the
a single
present
thing.
day? Is like she alive?
I have no idea. I don't know her name. I don't know anything.
If she's the head of the Prince estate at this time?
Fucking maybe. I don't know.
Fucking maybe.
Fucking maybe. Fucking maybe.
There it is about that.
Okay, so
Sorry, we hit on Bambi. I just thought we'd...
We're
No,
hitting all
I-
the
we have to
controversy.
Yeah, come on. Sorry.
you don't have to apologize. Sing away.
I would die for you.
What I have written down says, I have to type this out, the entire quote from the, quote, self-proclaimed Dean of American Rock Critics, Robert Christgau? Christgau?
Crisco? Like
no, not
the
like the
vegetable
oil.
oil?
Like Christ, G-A-U.
Oh.
Christ goo.
Yes.
Quite the
Christ
name.
goo.
Let's go with that.
Of the
go with
Village
Christ
Voice.
Is that like communion?
Lindsay! Sorry.
That was good, dude.
I'm sorry. Please.
Let me continue.
This is not a family-friendly show.
No,
Robert
it's fucking not a family show.
Robert C. of The Village Voice says, this album, Dirty Mind, is brashly lubricious, where the typical love man plays the lead in, quote, He's So Shy. He specializes here in full-fledged fuck book fantasies. The kid sleeps with his sister and digs it, sleeps with his girlfriend's boyfriend and doesn't, stops a wedding by gamma hutching the bride on her way to church. Mick Jagger should fold up his penis and go home.
Oh.
His name
quite
is
the review.
definitely Christ Goo, by the
And
way.
this was called the single best sentence ever written on Prince.
Mick Jagger should
agree.
fold up his dick and go home.
I agree.
So I need to understand the boyfriend. What song is that on?
I think it's When You Were Mine. I think there's a little thing about When You Were Mine
Okay.
on that.
When you were mine, I don't know, but I gave you all my money.
Right. There's like a line about sharing a bed and
Oh.
yeah. So I'm glad that we all enjoyed that. From the website Ultimate Prince,
Oh.
which
Has this been around a long time, do you think?
I think it has.
This is like a
been.
90s website that has lived on because of Prince superfans.
I'm pretty sure this is a website that I really loved. So
Okay.
yes, probably.
Probably. UltimatePrince.
Ultimate Prince.
.net.
I can find out.
All right.
Dude, I also had multiple, like, one specific, but a few, like, Tori Amos, like, ultimate sites that I would check regularly. So I get it.
Just fan sites.
Yeah, a very, like,
Mm-hmm.
every way you can connect to the, yeah.
It's ultimateprince.com.
.com.
Okay.
Still exists. We don't know when it started, but it exists to this day.
Okay. From the website ultimateprince.com. Uptown had a double meaning for Prince. It was a literal location, the uptown district of Minneapolis, known for its nightlife. On the other hand, it was Prince's idea of utopia where people of all races, genders, and sexualities could party together.
Yeehaw.
The story told in the song is Prince meeting a woman while he's walking down the street who asks him if he's gay. He answers no and suggests that her closed-mindedness is because she's a victim of society. He takes her uptown and she sees that there's fun to be had by black, white, Puerto Rican, everybody just a freakin'. Then naturally they have sex.
Naturally.
So that's all you had to do to get in bed with Prince is ask him if he's gay?
What's more queer than that?
Let me show you that
It's like,
I am.
I don't
not-
know. You tell me.
He's like, why don't I take you uptown where all the queer people live and then we can have sex? I don't know.
this isn't
I wasn't
personal,
there.
honey. Don't take it personal.
Okay, sorry. This is 1980.
Yeah,
I
and
know.
I know you love
Before
Prince,
any of
but
us were born.
He's like, let me open your mind.
Oh, well, I open your.
Oh,
my goodness, Kai.
it's a Friday night.
It
is Friday.
It's a Friday night, so fuck off, everybody.
This is an explicit podcast.
This isn't a fucking family show.
Sorry, Addison.
I'm sorry, but Addison has gotten some kind of permission.
She'll listen to all these. That's fine. When You Were Mine was not released as a single by Prince, which is
Okay.
surprising to me.
Oh, not surprising to me.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
However, Cyndi Lauper recorded the song and released it as a single in 1985.
That's surprising to me
I
because
don't
I've
know.
never
Yeah,
heard
it
that.
is surprising to me too. I need to listen to that.
Oh, it's good.
Okay, I like Cyndi Lauper. I really do.
So Cindy kept all of the original lyrics, including the he, him, his pronouns.
Cool.
Okay.
And
Go Cindy, yeah.
Prince wrote this song while he was on tour with Rick James. We talked about that last
Rick
time.
James.
Maybe that's why Rick James was so upset at Prince.
Maybe.
Because
It's a
he
good
knew he was just
song.
palling around with some homos.
I don't know.
Wait, so was Rick James terrible comments about Prince after they went on tour together?
I think so, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty fucked up.
I know.
It's
And
kinda
it's
like
probably
a
because
Vegas
Prince
thing,
was
right?
getting more attention than him, and so
Yeah.
he was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
What
Or he
happens
wouldn't
in
suck his
Vegas?
dick or something.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. Now
But
we're
he
getting
was like-
real gossipy about
Yeah.
Rick James.
You were there.
The action. I wish everyone could have just seen the action that Lindsay just did.
It was a shoulder. It was a shoulder
lot of
situation.
shoulders, yep.
Yeah.
That Prince
Well,
is out
that's
to
how it
lunch,
felt.
is what Rick
That's
James
out
said.
to lunch. Out to lunch in that he wouldn't unzip my pants.
That's a real
Uh,
80s thing to say out to lunch.
Yeah.
I wish I was out to lunch like every day.
You are.
Lisa,
If you're mad at me, it was worth that.
Oh.
I wish that we were a video podcast in that moment and that everyone could have seen both of your faces because I wasn't ready for it.
All right. Sorry,
I'm
honey.
so sorry.
It was a joke, but apparently it was very funny.
It was very funny. I choked on my own spit. That's
if we were in 1980s, I would be really upset right now.
because it's like
then it would
such
like
an
mean something.
insult.
and you would like do like a flock of seagull hair whip.
Like,
We'd probably just
How
have to
dare
stop
you.
recording.
yeah.
You would stomp off.
Oh, that makes me a little dizzy.
Yeah. Please don't flip your hair like that
Stop,
anymore.
like, cranking
your,
my neck.
your seat does not have a back.
I know.
It's dangerous what you're doing over there.
I know. I have just a little bit left for this album. If that's cool.
Lay it down.
Thank you.
Gotta let me lay it, gotta let me lay it. Sorry. Was that accurate?
Mhm.
Maybe not this album though.
Prince wrote the song When You Were Mine when he was on tour with Rick James. They were in Florida.
That sounds gay.
It was. He chose not to join his bandmates at Disney World and instead wrote this whole ass song by the time they got back.
All right. Well,
And Uptown was number 5 on Billboard's Hot Soul and Hot Dance Club charts.
Yeah.
So Hot Soul chart and Hot Dance Club chart.
Wow.
Dirty Mind reached number 7 on the Billboard Top Black Albums chart.
Again.
And he performed the anti-war song Party Up on his Saturday Night Live debut in February of 1981.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that was an anti-war song.
Yeah, there's some anti-war lyrics in there.
Okay.
You have to really sit down.
Well,
and,
that's
like,
why we're
watch
talking
over.
to you and not me about Prince.
I know. And Rolling Stone ranked Dirty Mind at number 18 of their 100 greatest albums of the 1980s.
19?
18.
18.
One better.
Wow. I'd like to see that list, but we'll move on.
Okay, well, I am ready for another Bev, and then I'm ready for another album.
Got to party up, got to party up.
I feel like it's just like a great vibe.
The song.
The song.
Controversy.
Yes, the song.
That's why, because it's got like that like stop guitar,
Yeah.
and then it has like synths. Controversy.
It's a great song. If you aren't familiar with the song Controversy, pause, listen to the song,
I don't know. I think I filled it
come
in.
back. Yeah,
Are we
you did great. You did
Wait,
great.
are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh. I looked up the album cover for you, but I'm going to need my phone back.
Oh, it's the mauve suit.
We listened
It's
to
the purple
this
suit.
album
This is
probably
like-
more than any other Prince
This
album
is-
in our home. We listened to this a lot.
Yes.
This is the most recognizable album cover to me personally,
Okay.
besides Purple Rain.
So his suit
Okay,
is
they're
not
probably
mauve.
equal.
It's a
I'm going to tell
lighter
you, it's the
mauve.
exact same coat as what's on Dirty Mind.
Well, that's black and white.
but
it
Dirty Mind,
totally
it's
is,
black
though.
and white.
Poor guy couldn't afford a new coat.
No, I'm sure there's a.
Well, he only made-
He could have.
What, $500,000 in
He could afford a
1978?
new coat. He just chose to recycle for a
I
reason.
love that he
Easter
recycled.
egg.
Yeah,
It's an
and
Easter
it's
egg
probably for a reason.
for the fans.
Yeah.
It's for you, Alex.
Yeah, I'm looking at
I
you,
love it.
Alex. Tell me why.
Why he recycled?
Yeah, is he a recycler?
He loves
Is
the
he
planet
Earth
Earth.
friendly?
Yeah, he has a whole fucking album that's like Mother Earth.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
God. Well, how many albums does he have? Can we
38.
Okay. All right.
I might be wrong on that, but
It's probably
I think
close. I don't think you're that far off.
okay. Controversy released October 14th of 1981. I think I said
None
that.
of us still are born.
Yeah, we're still twinkles in heaven.
Oh, Jesus, Lisa.
So, like, when
A
God
twinkle in your
takes
mother's eye.
when
hate
God
that.
takes a twinkle,
No, absolutely
is
not.
that like the
God
Eric
doesn't
Clapton
twinkle.
song, "Tears in Heaven"? It's just
Isn't that
twinkles in heaven.
Can't you think of someone being impregnated by God's twinkle?
Can't you just?
You guys, is that like a golden shower?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's not how it works, Kai.
But if you're thinking of it in a godly sense, it could work.
In a godly sense.
Yes.
How do you think Mary got impregnated,
Lisa!
Alex?
It's not Christmas season yet.
Yes, it is.
At her fucking house.
So, controversy. October 14th, 1981.
Controversy.
I believe that Dirty Mind was released in like October of 1980, I think I said.
So this is 1 year after.
October 8th, 1980.
He's just pumping them out.
He's pumping them out.
Okay, so did they like renew his contract?
Yeah, is this Warner Brothers or did he move on?
I believe this is still Warner Brothers.
Okay. Well, there was probably only like a couple to choose from.
Yes. So controversy begins to acknowledge Prince's androgynous and queer persona. Here's a few lyrics for you.
Ooh.
Lay him down.
I just can't believe all the things people say. Controversy. Am I black or
Controversy.
white? Am I straight or gay?
Just give me eyebrows and I'll fill in the controversy part. Controversy.
All right.
But he's like, am I black or am I white? Am I straight? Like, it's like kind of like marching. Like, I feel like I just.
Please
be
don't
like,
march on the table.
Don't march on the table, but yes.
Kind of breathy too.
Yeah.
Very breathy.
Yes.
which makes it automatically suggestive.
Maybe to Lisa.
For me.
If you speak breathy,
Controversy.
now we know what Lisa likes.
I like breathy. Talk to me breathy.
No.
Talk breathy to me, baby.
If we're in a bar, talk breathy to me.
Okay, I just have to get through this
I'm sorry.
without
All
knowing
this-
all these things
just-
about Lisa. Okay?
I only told you one thing.
I feel fine.
At least
about it.
too.
Two people think it's okay.
Those are the most important two of the two just now, I think. About breathy talk.
We're moving on. This album is where the color purple starts to be connected to Prince.
Okay.
He's doing so. Dirty Mind was black and white on the album cover.
Did you notice though on Prince
Mm-hmm.
there's purple?
The name of the album?
Right.
the
The
on
font
it
is
purple.
Yes. He's always very purple.
He's had a lot of purple connected, right?
Yes.
But maybe this
the
is
one that is
confirmation.
the
Big one?
like associated.
This is
with
when
it.
Because
it's
of the
like
jacket?
cemented. Yes.
Okay.
It's cemented in. He has like the purple jacket. There's like the spikes on his right shoulder. Here it is.
Okay.
Controversy is a much more political album than any of his previous works, and also touches on faith, gender, and ethnicities in ways that had not been present in Prince's work up to this point. And he started wearing thigh-high boots and bikini bottoms with a studded leather coat, which he wore on Dirty Mind. And I think that he started wearing like out on tour during Controversy. So he was like wearing this out and about
Oh.
and not just in pictures.
Okay. So this became his regular self.
Yes.
He's coming out
He's fully coming out.
as
Controversy.
purple.
He said, "To me, it's not outrageous. It's comfortable. I've always dressed the way I've wanted to. And if it goes with the music, it's only because the music is part of me and so is the way I dress."
Sorry.
It looks like the most uncomfortable thing that you could possibly
This is
wear.
a lie, clearly.
Thigh-high
From Prince.
booties, like bikini bottoms, and a studded leather jacket.
Comfortable because of the attention, or
And you
like
feel sexy.
yeah. If you
That's
feel if you're getting comfort and validation from those things, then
And attention.
yeah, then I can totally see why it would be like this is what I feel comfortable in because
Sure.
people like
But
to be validated.
I also feel like that's like Prince is doing a half smile
Yeah.
because he was kind of ridiculous.
yeah.
Like he was a joking kind of guy.
Right, but he obviously liked the attention he was getting from those kinds of
Right.
jokes.
But I don't think it was because he Prince pranced around his house in those clothes.
Right.
I think it was a public facing
Yes.
thing.
So
that
that's what I
brought
mean.
him joy.
I feel like he was laughing inside as he was saying that. He's
And-
like, "Oh, I'm just so comfortable in these clothes."
I just don't know of any like 100% straight artists that get that same thing out of this type of attire. Like,
Well,
you know what I mean?
Kind of goes back to our Harry Styles conversation.
Yeah, but he's not wearing that. Like, he's not wearing bikini bottoms and a fully
No, but I
open
would-
leather trench coat.
you
But
know-
he fucking might.
Let's give it to Prince. I don't think very many people since
Yeah.
Prince have really paraded around in bikini
I-
bottoms and a studded
Yes.
jacket.
yeah.
I'm with it. Like,
Apparently, it was
know.
very comfortable. Nobody knows.
It's very
How
that's the most
comfortable it
comfortable
is.
thing. He just gets out of the tub and puts on his thigh-high boots and his bikini bottoms. and
He's
is
ready
to go.
Why don't they have those in hotel rooms? I mean,
That's a
what
good
you should
question.
be lounging around in.
Oh my
If it's comfortable, it's comfortable.
God.
I don't know.
Yeehaw.
The song Controversy and Let's Work both reached #1 on the Billboard dance charts.
Get
Did you
it.
say let's work?
Yes.
Can you sing that?
Let's Work.
Yeah,
It's just like a
I guess
I love that we saw
I'm
your
missing it.
shoulders sing
It was
as
a
much
shoulder
as your
It's a
voice
shoulder
did.
shrug.
Well, there was also a lot of right?
Yeah.
So you gotta like get the choo-choo train going.
Yeah, you like really did
Jesus.
it.
I will never dance again. It's the George
That's
Michael
a
song.
lie.
Okay. So controversy. Jesus Christ.
Got no rhythm. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
That's a banger.
it is.
This is a Prince episode, you
This is
guys.
not a George
Put your-
Michael episode.
Saxophone away.
Wait, didn't Kai say last episode that there was a Boy George?
Boy George, not
Okay,
George Michael.
not George Michael. You're right.
Boy George
Or
Michael.
we can bring in Boy George Michael.
I'd like to hear a Boy George Michael.
Isn't that really like just George Michael from Arrested Development?
Yes.
Does he have any songs?
All right, I'm
Does he have an
very
album?
sorry,
Yes.
Alex. I'm very sorry. Please continue.
No, it's fine.
It sounds fine.
It's definitely fine. Okay. Controversy. The song Controversy and the song Let's Work both reached #1 on the Billboard dance charts. The album hit #3 on the Billboard R&B album chart.
R&B.
So this is like the highest of any of the previous albums.
Yes.
By far.
So
Yes.
does it say, are there still the black charts? Or have those transformed into R&B?
I don't know if there's been like a
mainstream.
transformation in the chart.
It's just interesting. We talked a lot about the black charts, and now I'm just
I
curious.
know.
He's charting on R&B, and he never charted on R&B. Where
He's
did that
in
come from?
uncharted territory.
Oh,
It's, you've
I'm
done
sorry.
it now.
I'm so sorry.
Guy's face.
I'm sorry.
I was displeased.
Yeah, Kai was
It's fine. I love puns, so I'm with
Thank
you.
you. So do I.
The critics who loved Dirty Mind were not as enthused about Controversy, actually.
I feel like Controversy like got real sexy.
You mean
Like,
Christ
why-
Goo wasn't with it?
Like, why? What was their? What was
No,
their
I don't know. It's like
between the
more
two?
like
So, Controversy, this was his, quote, first attempt to get you to love him for his mind and not just his body.
Okay, but isn't
what
this the
in
one that
actual
has
fuck?
"Do Me, Babe"? No, it's not. It's not.
No.
I'm on the wrong album.
I
I wish I
don't
had the
think so.
track list in front of me.
These
I'm
are
gonna
my
pull-
notes. Love this whole goddamn album where Prince gets real sexy. A definite turn.
So, you like people. This is Do Me Baby.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So, there's
I'm on that one.
Controversy, Sexuality, Do Me Baby, Private Joy, Ronnie Talk to Russia, Let's Work, Annie Christian, Jack You Off.
Oh yeah, Jack You Off. I love that song.
I do too.
It's a
Yeah.
banger.
Oh, yeah.
And I like
Jack you
the
off.
Annie Christian song.
I like the Annie Christian too. But it's very political and like a little bit more cerebral than like.
Well, the first line is Annie Christian was a whore. Right?
Well, I don't know if that's the first line. It probably is.
Or am I
I've
just
been
thinking
drinking
of
some
a
beer.
verse? I don't know. I could.
Don't
I
worry,
know.
we can edit this.
Annie
Do you want to
Christian,
find
Annie
a real
Christ.
answer?
Something.
Annie
something.
Christian, Annie Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
No,
You're right.
I love this album. This is a critic thing. Critics liked Dirty Mind because it was
Christian-
like
Christ Goo.
Christ Goo loved this fucking album. He told
he
Mick
liked the
Jagger to
last one.
fold up his penis and go
That
home.
was the last one.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
Dirty Mind.
Dirty Mind. Christ Goo didn't have anything to say about controversy.
No, Controversy, it was just kind of like a, okay, here's Prince again. He has some shit to say. He's not fucking his sister in this album. He just has something to say about Russia and nuclear war. And so we need to like deal with that.
And I feel like I just want to say that this is by far like my Prince album.
Okay.
Like
Same.
Controversy is the album I jive the most with out of all. Like I find myself going back to it over and over and over and over again. So just wanted to put that out there.
Well, it's a good album.
This
And
is my most recognized Prince album.
I've said this like every single album we've talked about. I love this album. I love all these albums. There hasn't been a single one that it's like, eh.
This is where our love of Prince collides with yours, though. Because
Okay.
like this is where we come in.
You've,
From before knowing
you're-
you.
You got the on-ramp.
Yeah, this is our
This is the on-ramp.
And this is like what's in our collection that we play regularly on
Okay.
our record player. And this is like Controversy is a song that's on multiple playlists. When we used to DJ events, Controversy.
We would
This
always play
record was
Controversy.
always
Yeah.
in our crate to go to events.
It's very queer and it's very like very Princey, very like
Dancey. It's upbeat
dancey and like I said, cerebral
Yeah.
and like I don't know.
it just like
energy.
tickles you in all the right places.
And the thing that I thought of today was Prince is doing this like ratcheting up. So if you know the albums that come next, like he's ratcheting up to like superstardom.
Yeah.
And this is like from
because Purple Rain is in our future and
Purple Rain's in our future and 1999 is in our future. For You, Prince, Dirty Mind, Controversy, 1999, Purple Rain. These are all like big steps, I feel like.
yeah.
Yes.
Where does Around the World fit in?
That's after Purple Rain.
Okay.
Is that the one where he has short hair?
Yes, this is
And
the
it has
one that
Raspberry
Raspberry Beret
Beret.
is on.
Clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of clouds.
Lots of clouds. Cloud guitar.
Cloud guitar.
Cloud
He looks
suit.
really weird.
He looks weird in that, yeah. I prefer this era.
Yeah.
I love that album too.
No, I like it.
I
a
love
great
the album.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. That's Prince episode number 7.
Yeah, probably.
Just kidding.
Episode number 4. Which is nuts. I just want to say that Controversy was certified platinum in 1985. Came out in 1981.
Finally, one of us is
1985
born.
certified platinum.
You were born. You were there
I
for
was.
it.
Oh, maybe.
What was it like?
Was it after February?
I have no idea.
Great. Probably. I mean, the chances are high.
They're high. Disco or club music was a very black and queer subsection of popular music in the 1970s and was eventually appropriated by the disco style, quote, disco style, and sounds like what you might associate with it today. The Bee Gees, John Travolta, really cheesy shit that is almost completely straight white men aligned.
Stay alive.
Yes. There was huge backlash against this type of music, and I very much recommend the episode of You're Wrong About titled Disco Demolition Night, which was released on August 3rd of 2020. It's very informative and will give a lot more context about this genre.
And that's a great episode.
I
and a great show.
loved it. I loved it. And it talks about
That was one
how
of my favorite episodes. of
disco
theirs,
is like
honestly.
black and queer, and then like the white people came in and took it and made it so much worse.
commercialized it and wore like
Isn't that
Yeah.
how it goes?
That's
then,
kind
like,
of our legacy, right?
everybody
As white
turned
people.
against it.
Yeah.
God, fuck
we make it
us.
worse.
And then we got Disco Duck.
Hey, we're here. We're here to make it worse.
I literally
and make
remember-
some money off of it as fast as we can and just like run it into the
Yes.
ground for every cent that it's
I
worth.
literally remember we were planting our garden and Kai comes out and was like, I just listened to the biggest mindfuck on You're Wrong about disco
Yeah.
demolition and like told me about the whole episode. I was like, oh shit, I gotta go listen to that right
It was
now, and I
really
did.
good. And it's really a good like hand holding into this episode as well. And like the genre of music that Prince was kind of thrust into being a black artist.
Thrust.
Literally thrust. Hip thrust.
You'll
Pelvic
notice
thrust.
I only smiled and I said nothing.
I said it for you. Pelvic thrust.
Is that something? That...
I hope there's a sound effect after that. Boing.
Boing! Boing! No! There doesn't have to be a boing
Choose
for
your
a
own
thrust.
sound effect.
Like, wah, 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 wah. No?
Or like macaroni in a pot.
No! So we're back in 1981.
Okay.
Prince and the Revolution opened for the Rolling Stones
Whoa.
at the Coliseum in Los Angeles.
Wait, did Mick Jagger already have his dick folded up?
Hold on. Let me go back.
First of all, she said Jacker, but that's fine.
Yuck.
Jacker already have his
I don't
dick
know.
folded up.
Mick Jagger.
It might as well be his name.
Yeah.
Jacker.
I don't know. Probably
That friggin'
not.
Jacker.
It's probably after the Jacker. I don't
Fold. The Jacker fold.
That's but that's from the
Jack you
most
off.
famous line.
know. Yes, and I don't know if I feel like that would have had to been after.
Do you think
this.
Mick was like, now I want him to open for us?
Maybe.
He probably would.
Fucking maybe.
Because
Mick
he's
Jagger
a
probably was all
badass.
about
He's
that.
like, don't worry, I'll outdance him with my like old man moves. Have you seen him even back then when he was young and he danced?
It
he
wasn't
danced
good.
like an old guy.
I don't think he was known for his dance moves, was he?
Yeah.
He
Yes,
was known for like
yes.
rocking out.
He was like the sexiest man in the world
Not to me.
in the Western
Not to
Hemisphere.
I don't think to any of us, Lisa.
All right. Moving on.
All right. We're doing it.
I don't get it. But I mean, I don't think I have to explain myself that I don't get it. Mick Jagger.
All right. We're back in 1981. We're at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, opening for the Rolling Stones.
I would have loved to have been there. Sounds like a good time.
Stand by. The crowd began booing him and shouting racist and homophobic epithets.
No.
And
Collective groan.
And apparently Prince attempted to change his performance to be more, quote, rock oriented instead of his signature funky new wave pop.
Like they're going to forget that you're Prince.
So the crowd was still not happy with that and started throwing trash, food, and bottles at him.
So maybe Mick Jagger really did invite him on just for that reason.
Maybe to fuck him up.
Yeah.
That's so shitty.
And from an interview in 1982, quote, rock-oriented radio stations avoid playing records by black artists, even if the records have a rock slant, because they feel rock fans associate any black artists these days with the dreaded disco.
Dreaded disco.
This blackout has only reinforced the rock audience's intolerance for contemporary black music. So there's like this whole racial
undertone
and like the disco portion of it feeds into like this racist shit. And we just like have a Rolling Stones cameo in our episode.
Yeah, we sure do. Well, it started with Christ Goo.
Yeah, I know. It really did.
Yeah. Did Prince have anything to say about this?
No.
And this was in LA.
Yeah.
No one got a hold of him and talked to him after this whole thing.
He wasn't really like giving interviews at this time.
Yeah,
right?
at this time he like was really shut down and wasn't really promoting his shit and wasn't really like out there giving interviews and stuff. But if you're ready, I can move on to the next album. Well, I want to talk about the album 1999. If that's
Can we
okay.
please?
Please.
So, as you talk about this album, before you talk about this album, can I read the songs on the album?
Yes, please.
Yes,
read
that would
off
be
the
great.
yes,
That'd be
please
great.
ring off the song list.
Okay. So, 1999.
Released October 27th of 1982.
17 years beforehand.
Wow.
The
I
track
didn't
list.
realize it was.
It
Just
was-
figured it was like that year.
Oh, no.
Oh,
It was
no.
early 80s, Lisa.
I am
He was just
shocked and
anticipating.
baffled that he wrote 1999 17 years before.
Yeah.
It was a huge thing coming up, 1999.
Let me read you some songs from 1999.
Please do.
Title track, 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Little red Corvette.
Uh-huh.
I get delirious. Delirious.
Uh-huh.
Let's pretend we're married.
That's not how it goes at all. But okay.
It's not? Can you
No.
sing it to me?
Let's pretend we're married. Go all night.
Oh. DMSR.
What does that stand for?
Dance, music, sex, romance.
Oh,
Can you give
all
me a
the
little
things that
ditty?
matters.
Do 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 do. Wah, wah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that one.
remember.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Automatic. No one? Okay.
AOT-O-matic.
Yes.
Tell me what to do.
Yes. Something in the water does not compute. Which
See
is
something in the water.
one of my favorite songs.
It's good.
Just saying. One of my favorite Prince songs. Free.
Free to change your mind. Free to do most anything, anytime. Yep.
And then Lady kept driving.
That's a good one.
Did I get it right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All the critics love you in New York.
Mm-hmm. All the critics love you in New York.
Oh, right.
We are way less familiar with this album than most.
But I do have a little something.
Last one, International Lover. No?
I'll talk about this song.
Okay. All right, that's it.
What do you have?
So, as a small child, my invisible friend was named Beth, and she drove a little red Corvette. And I don't. It has to be from the Prince song because she drove a little red Corvette, and it was a convertible, very specifically a convertible Corvette, but a little red Corvette.
Yeah, that's gotta
And,
be
like,
it.
Beth's shining moment was her car. More than anything I remember.
You're
or
like, we're
know,
kind of friends, but
It was
it's mostly
all
about
about
your
this little red Corvette.
I want to see the psychoanalyst version of what this all means.
I don't know.
I think
Like,
that's what we're doing right
when
now.
you said we're talking about 1999, the first thing I did was look at the track list, and I saw Little Red Corvette, and I was like,
Wait.
my invisible friend from when I was little. And I don't even really remember that. Most of my memories of my invisible friend are from what my mother has told me later on. But
do you think that your mom came up with a lot of details about?
no, it's her telling me what I told her.
Okay, but do you think your mom is telling you things that you're not remembering because you didn't actually tell her these things and she's just
No.
thinking of them?
No, it's her regurgitating back what I told
Okay.
her, which the little red Corvette was a huge part of what I would tell her about Beth.
There's a lot I have to say, but I'm just going to get to the most important question first, which is, what did Beth look like? Do you remember?
I don't, but maybe she's my
The
first queer
time-
crush. I don't know.
Oh. Sorry, we've
This
already done
is
this episode, Lisa.
I know, but this is when I am this is when we lived in California. This had to have been from age 5 to 7.
Second question. Has anyone here seen Drop Dead Fred?
Yes.
It's bad. It's not good.
It's bad. It's not good.
Sorry, I
But
like it.
this, did you guys have invisible friends? Do you have any?
No.
I really truly feel like I did, but I don't have any cognitive reminiscence of actually who that was.
I had the same thing. I don't remember seeing this person. I don't remember interacting with this person, but
You talked about Beth.
I talked about Beth all the time, and my mom
Your mom's clearly
communicated
that's
that to me.
an
and so-
imaginary friend.
Yes.
Because you don't interact with anyone named Beth.
Yes.
Interesting.
Interesting that like your imaginary friend's name was Beth and not like
Lucy.
Natasha
Susan.
or like I don't know. Beth and the little red Corvette.
I don't know, but this is just like
All right,
my
Lisa,
prince.
I don't know.
I'm so sorry. This is such
No,
a far tangent.
I
but this is,
love this.
This is like
I
this
could
is
go
my
down this rabbit
connection
hole for a
to
while.
Prince's 1999 because when I looked at the track list, I was like, "Oh my god, my imaginary friend!" Like that's the first. And then I text my mom and I was like, "Mom, what's the name of my imaginary friend?" Because I can't even remember. And she's like, "Oh, Beth."
It was
Well,
Beth.
This was a radio topping song.
It's still on
It
the
wouldn't be-
radio.
Yeah.
Oh
Surprising
yeah, and like I
if you
know
heard it.
Yeah, like I know the song "Little Red Corvette." Like I know that song.
I think everyone does.
Everyone does.
Yeah. Yeah. Kai's dancing.
I'm hearing Little Red Corvette playing in my head right now.
This is just my tangent of how Prince influenced my life apparently in the early 80s.
So much so that you made an imaginary friend just
Yeah.
to ride in the little
Right.
Corvette.
No, she was driving. Was she riding or driving?
Oh, sorry.
This was her
Yeah.
vehicle. She
Yeah.
owned
Drive
it.
the little
She
red
wasn't.
Corvette.
She didn't have a car payment.
Right.
Like
Do
she
you think you
owned the
rode-
little red Corvette.
Do you think that you rode passenger with Beth in
I'm
the
sure
little
I
red
did.
Corvette?
I lived in LA. Fuck yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah. Top down.
Yeah, it was a convertible.
Oh. Okay.
Hell yeah, it was
That
a
makes
convertible.
sense.
No, you know what I meant by top
I know.
down.
You know, but I was a small child.
Right. So maybe not top down.
No, now currently top down, yes, but not in the early 90s.
Not in the car. Oh, wait.
Oh my god!
Okay, tell us about 1989.
I
Alex.
would love to.
Yeehaw.
1999, released October 27th of 1982. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of these albums are released in October.
Yeah, almost all of them. So
Every
far
year
have
in
been-
October.
And he's a
Um,
Gemini. Like, what does that mean?
I'm sure there's something that aligns with the star chart that we'll have to dissect another day.
We'll have to get with Rita.
Rita will have some answers
Rita,
for us. We'll need to
shout out to
contact
Rita.
Rita Miller.
So,
Rita Miller.
October 27th is Scorpio season. He's getting closer and
Hey,
closer to
Rita.
Scorpio season.
So
We'll talk to Rita about
does
this.
Prince
Such
have
a long.
a Scorpio parent in his birth chart?
There's no way to know.
I would have no fucking idea about
Well,
this.
I feel like we could find out when his parents
That
were
would take
born.
my fandom to another level.
Okay.
If I was like, yes.
And
yes,
you're not
he did.
willing to go there?
Well, I haven't even gotten through all of his albums yet.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm
Well,
very
not
sorry.
asking you to go there now.
Okay, well, I don't have any information on that.
Okay.
That is just fine. Please continue
that's-
on your prepared.
I think that's all we were asking.
So this was the first album to be recorded with The Revolution. He was touring with The Revolution when he got bottles and shit thrown at him, opening for the Rolling Stones the year before.
I love the Revolution.
I love The Revolution, and 1999 was a breakout success. It charted at number 9 on the Billboard Top 200.
Bet there wasn't any more bottle throwing after that.
Not qualified with like any other thing. It
It's
was
not
just
like the Black
top
200, it's the top 200.
200.
Number 9,
Nice.
which is like big time.
Good for you, Prince.
And the music videos for 1999 and Little Red Corvette were played on heavy rotation on MTV. And
Which barely existed.
it barely existed, and this was after the network was accused of not promoting black performers. So then they just like threw these videos on like over and over and over. International Lover, which we mentioned earlier in the track listing, was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance
I'm
in
sorry,
1984.
but I can't think of how that song goes.
I don't think it's that good.
Can you give me a ditty?
It's like International Lover.
Still
You'd-
not getting
you'd
it.
skip
It's
it
not
every
the banger.
time.
You'd skip
It's
it
not the
every-
banger.
You'd skip it every time.
Interesting.
I don't know. I respect that it was nominated. I don't know why. 1999 was certified 4 times platinum,
Yeehaw.
and it is considered by a variety of music critics as Prince's most influential and genre-busting record that helped him cross over into a wider rock audience and was the engine behind the next few years of Prince's dominance in the pop market. This is like his first like hit record.
Sure.
Record.
Yeah. So this was record number 4.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, 5.
Okay. Lucky number 5.
This is record number 5.
Also your favorite
So
Lenny
there was
Kravitz
For
album.
You, Prince, Dirty Mind, Controversy, and now 1999.
Great.
On this album, Prince introduced a drum machine into his sound, which he didn't before, and expanded the use of his synthesizer so that he can keep up with his growing ideas and ambition for song ideas. 1999 is Prince's second most popular album,
Behind.
like probably
Purple
behind
Rain?
Purple Rain. I don't know for sure, but
I would be willing.
I would,
Yeah,
I would
that
put
sounds right.
many dollars on that. And incorporates a lot more elements of the color purple. Like if you'll remember I don't have it in front of me, but the album cover is purple.
Yeah.
Yep.
And during an interview with the Los Angeles Times in November of 1982, he was promoting this album and Prince explicitly denied being gay.
He is not gay.
He
was in an interview.
This is the first time that I've seen him say this explicitly in my research for this series. So somebody said, the gay rumors grew out of his stage manner, which often reflects the ambisexual tendencies associated with Jagger in the late 60s and Bowie in the early 70s.
I'm sorry, but ambisexual?
I think it's like ambidextrous sexual.
Just sexual on any
Just
in
like,
any way
Is it
appealing
left?
to
Is it
anybody.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
On the
I'm
whole
juggling
spectrum.
around.
Yeah,
my
just
left
like
hand, my right hand.
sexual AF, appealing to every person who also feels sexual, no matter what they are.
I'm sorry. I'm just
This is a very sexual
I'm not
episode, but
really
you know
sure
it's
if
Prince,
I've-
so I'd be
Warning.
disappointed if it wasn't.
I'm just not sure if I've heard that before, and I really wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one.
I wrote it down as ambisexual. We can look it up if you'd like.
Right. So do you think bisexual was shortened from ambisexual?
Fucking maybe. It's AM bisexual.
Right.
Lisa, what's the consensus?
Where's our history professor for this episode?
Dr. Lisa Halla
Ambisexual.
coming in with the Wikipedia definition of ambisexual.
It looks like there aren't many great matches for your search. Try using words that might appear on the page you're looking for. For example, cake recipe instead of how to make a cake.
Jesus Christ.
That's literally what it says.
So you should Google how to make an
ambisexual.
ambisexual.
I typed in ambisexual definition, and that's what I got.
How to make an ambisexual.
To
Google
me,
that.
that seems more, and I don't know. I'm
There's
just
literally
gathering from
nothing.
context clues,
There's
but to me, that means more of like a very just like sexual and provocative, and like you don't really know who they're sexual towards, but you just know they're
Ambiguous
very
bisexual.
sexual. Yeah.
Ambiguously
Yes.
sexual.
Ambiguously sexual. You don't even have to be ambiguously bisexual. It's just like you're ambiguously
We prefer it if you are.
sexual. You're
But-
just sexual.
Ambiguously.
Yes.
Is this also androgynously?
Sure.
Yeah, kind
Throw
of.
that
Yeah.
in.
That's a little spice on the top.
Thanks, honey. So Prince said, there is a certain type of people who may dig what we're doing, but they won't even listen to it because of the stereotypes or whatever.
Or whatever.
I'm real proud of the new album, and I'd hate to have things get in the way of it.
Don't get in the fucking way, bro.
Yes. So here's the interview that I talked about. He gave in 1983. It was very fucking weird to read this whole thing. I think it was an LA Times thing again. It was I'd have to look it up. It was a big publication. He was doing promotion for this album. And the interviewer said, do you think people think that you're gay? And Prince said, well, there's something about me I know that makes people think that. It must stem from the fact that I spend a lot of time around women. Maybe they see things I don't.
What
Oh
a
my.
backhanded.
That's like, first of all, that's not a no.
know, but it's like maybe it's because I have all these bitches around
Maybe
me.
I spend a lot of time around women.
Maybe it's because I got all these ladies wanting to do me. I don't know.
Like,
maybe
do you have a bunch of like
Yeah.
quote unquote fag hags around you?
No, I don't think that's how he meant it. I think it was a backhanded comment.
Kind of maybe.
He's like, I'm getting a lot of pussy, so maybe.
Yeah, so maybe it's
So
like,
maybe that makes me gay
I
because
don't
like
know,
I've
'cause,
like
I
done
have
a
all these
360.
women around. I don't know.
Because I'm just like doing all these really
High
wild
profile.
sexual things
Maybe it's
that you
'cause
guys haven't
I
even heard of.
only hang out with women because like I just want to do it all the time, and so I just hang out with women all the time. Maybe that makes me gay. I don't know.
That's the opposite of gay, sir.
That's exactly what I think he was
I-
trying to say.
Okay. So the next question is, people always speak about a feminine sensibility as if it's something negative in a man, but it's usually very attractive for most women, like sensitiveness. That's just a statement. It's not even a question.
Or a word, probably.
And Prince says, I don't know. It's attractive for me. I mean, I would like to be more of a loving person and be able to deal with other people's problems a little bit better. Men are really closed and cold together, I think. They don't like to cry, in other words. And I think that's wrong because that's not true.
Which is valid.
Yes.
Boys don't cry.
And there's also a lot of other like weird negging about homosexuality in this interview that I think is really gross. Overall, it was interesting to read. There was a part where they talked about how he moved in. I talked about how he moved into his neighbor's basement, and his neighbor was one of his best friends. And
With quotes or without quotes?
kind of quotes.
Best friend.
Kind of quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Prince had talked about how they did like
The dirty?
sleepovers
Oh.
and like
The dirty.
they'd play games where they'd like strip down and there's all these kind of like innuendo things about especially this neighbor. And this guy was in that documentary that we watched. The like, what really happened, brought to you by CNN. The death of Prince.
Oh, I can't see
He was
him,
in-
but I wish I could see
he was
him
in
in
that.
my brain.
I know his name. If I saw his name, I would know it, but I can't tell it to you right now.
Okay. Do you remember how you felt listening to this person? Like, do you remember listening to this
I was like,
person? Do you feel like maybe
I
there
feel
was
like-
some-
Sexual friends.
I feel like if they did things
helped each
together,
other out.
then like,
were they sexually ambiguous?
who cares? Like,
Yeah.
that's like none of my business. It's none of this reporter's business. It's their business.
But they dragged this
our
guy into
business.
it.
It's not our business.
But
It
they
is.
dragged this guy
We have
into
a
this
podcast
into
about
this
Okay, so-
interview.
Only because we're professionals. It's our business.
We're professional.
We're
Listen.
queer professionals.
We're not
Professional
here.
queers.
We're not here
We're
to
professionals.
say what's right or wrong. We're just here and we're queer and we're drinking beer. That's it. And we're talking about
I hope
Prince
that they
today.
were getting off together. I'm gonna just say it.
So in this interview,
I will cheers to that.
yeah.
Cheers.
So like, I hope that they were also doing that. In this interview, though, the person interviewing Prince was like, so you did these sleepovers, huh? And he's like, yeah, like we're best friends and we live together and et cetera, et cetera. And they're like, so did you do any like homosexual activities? And he's like, I don't know what you mean. And he's like, you know,
Did you suck his dick?
he didn't say that.
Lisa, second
might as well.
episode in a row
But it was-
that
it
you
was
really,
really
throw
like-
it down.
Are
Oh,
you
I
sure?
did? The last one too.
The interview.
Yes, the watermelon sugar.
Oh, right.
You're welcome.
Fans of Harry Styles.
You're welcome, everyone in the universe.
She just goes there.
I go
It's-
there.
Someone's gotta.
We don't have shame.
So he just kind of like danced around it and was
He
like,
danced
"Fuck you, I don't have
around.
to tell you."
Well, and he
what
was
we
also
did.
like,
This is personal.
I understand that like his best friend's family took him in to their house to live there when he was a teenager, and like maybe he doesn't want to be like, yeah, we were like fucking and like being homos together at the time.
He also has a reputation to protect. He's a celebrity at this point.
And he was working with this friend in his early years. This friend was like producing music. They were in a band together.
I feel like
I don't
this
know.
whole time, something every single one of these albums have in common is you've brought up that some reporter like asks him if he's a queer, if he's gay.
Yes. It happens like quite a bit when he gives an interview. Somebody's like, but you're gay, right? Like you're homosexual and you like having sex with men. And he's like, I don't know what, like, why would you say that?
But
And
he
there's
never like directly is like, no, I'm not gay.
There's only one time that he's like, I'm not gay.
And other than that, he's just like super ambiguous.
And you know what? It was probably because he was having a bad day. And he's like, I'm not happy.
It's like, fuck this guy who's interviewing me.
I'm not happy right now. I'm not gay.
Yes.
Because that would be a princey thing to do.
Right.
In my opinion.
Princey.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. That's
So
very true.
that's all I have for you today. We've wrapped it up at album 5, 1999.
Which was just chock full of bangers. I read the track
It's good.
list.
It was chock full of bangers.
I don't know if we're going to have any more Prince episodes. So
We are.
We are.
We will.
But we...
We must.
It's
have a
not
break.
on the horizon yet.
Well,
It'll be continued at a later time.
Yes.
I would like to just everyone to go around and maybe name their favorite Prince album. I'm going to start with you.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Top
Song?
3. You can do 3.
I talked about how I love the
B-sides and the
Love
hits.
Symbol album. I love the B-sides and hits album, but that's kind of a compilation, so I'm ruling that
No,
out.
it was
That
sold.
counts,
It
that
was
counts.
sold
Okay, well,
as
that's
a
another one.
B-sides and hits. That's the way it
That
was sold,
counts.
and it can be consumed that way, so it counts.
Hmm.
B-sides and hits. What'd you say?
Love symbol.
Love Symbol?
Don't make her choose.
No, we're doing this. It's okay. It's not like it's going to be written into her record.
I would say maybe Diamonds and Pearls.
Diamonds and Pearls.
Yes. I would say maybe Diamonds and Pearls.
Sorry.
That was
you
nice.
held it out. It was really nice.
Well, I feel like we already said, but like, I love controversy. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yes, and I love it too, and that says something that it's not even my top 3.
Yeah, it does.
All of these albums, like, I really love, they're not in my top 3.
But you've also explored all like 30, what number of albums did you
Like
give?
38.
Yeah, you've explored all 38 albums. Like, I've probably like deeply explored maybe 12 of those 38 albums. So
You might find a new fave.
I don't feel as qualified, but like of the ones that I really like, Controversy is the one that I just like love, and I find myself continuously going back and playing it over and over and over.
I hope that you also listen to For You sometimes when you want a disco.
Now that I have delved into that because of this episode, I like I said last episode, I don't think I've ever really listened to that, or if I have, I never really paid attention to it. Yeah, and now I'm like, hell yeah, like I really enjoyed it. It's a really fun album, so thanks for bringing it to my attention.
Yeah. Lindsay, what do you say?
Sign of the Times.
Sign of the Times is a good one.
Sign of the Times is my favorite one, I would say.
Okay. So you guys don't have to give your top 3. It's just me that has to give a top 3.
Well, you couldn't decide.
Yeah, because
You're
you're
right.
like the super fan amongst us, and we're all just gonna...
I
Okay.
can give you more if you want.
Give me one more.
Hold on, let me just look.
Okay.
Okay. I also like Diamonds and Pearls.
It's good. Christopher Tracy's Parade
Parade. Yeah.
is a good one.
Yeah. This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
I like that one too.
All right.
That one has Kiss on it. That one has Another Hole in Your Head, which is like, okay, I said earlier my favorite song was, that's probably like tied with
I
my
know.
favorite
We
song.
listen to that song a lot.
I also love Kiss. I love that
know.
song so much.
Yeah. So there you go.
Lisa?
Album, controversy, song. I would die for you.
Okay.
Like nothing tops that for me. That song.
Have you learned the dance?
I Would Die For You is just like
There's a dance.
perfection. I have not learned the dance, but by the time we get to that album, I will know the dance.
You know, Lisa, that makes a lot of sense for me, for you.
Really?
It's like what you would sing to all your dogs.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I've
It's just like
recognized this.
this
Like,
very
has happened.
deep rooted part of Lisa.
So this song, I discovered this song when I was working at Disneyland. So here's the Disney Prince connection.
Oh.
You're giving me a Muppet face right now.
I thought you meant okay. So I thought you meant Disney Prince, as in like Prince
No.
Princess.
Yeah,
No,
not
no,
like
no.
Disney
When I worked at
slash
Disneyland,
So I was like
when I
waiting for
worked
the
at
Disney
Disneyland,
Prince.
They played Prince?
Prince
There-
Philip or whatever.
well, there was just like
They play music on speakers.
okay, so
or-
there was this kind of really fun thing we used to go to called the Mad Tea Party, which was in California Adventure, and it was like a fun little dance situation, but it was all like themed around Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
So like a part of the park at night would like shut down, and it was all about fun drinks and dancing, and there was like a DJ, and then there was a band that played, and they played all sorts of music, but they always played Prince, and they always played I Would Die For You. Like that's where I learned that song.
And this was for
Okay.
staff only, I'm assuming.
No, it was for everyone.
Okay.
But
But
like
they had drinks?
yeah, in California Adventure, you can drink
Oh,
over there.
Okay.
So it was like, how do we make Disneyland like hip for the kids? You
I know. Let's
And it
play a
was
song
like-
from 1984.
yeah, and it worked for me. So they always played I Would Die For You, and when the band would play, they always played Go Crazy.
Okay, let's go crazy.
Yes, so like
Yes.
those two songs were always within the Mad Tea Party, and that's kind of like when that landed on my
sense.
radar.
That makes sense.
And I didn't really know either of those songs before that.
Okay.
So
That's a fun
yeah, like
connection to it.
both of those songs like take me back to when I was there.
All right.
Do we have a boo and a who?
No.
I
We
swear
really
I had a who at least. I know that Billy Porter apologized to Harry Styles. Right?
Oh.
You sent me one of you sent me that.
You know I don't open links,
I thought
so
you sent that.
I don't think so.
it wasn't me. I don't send.
Or
I
did
think
or
I
open
did. I
links.
think I sent it from the Lavender, our podcast account.
Yeah. Yeah. Where he was like, sorry, your name was in my mouth. It's not about you.
Yes.
It's about
Nice.
Which I thought was
Something
very
That's nice.
graceful.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice.
yeah.
I'm gonna say the boo of the week is me because I've been trying to figure out how to donate to the Ogden Pride Alliance Club and
Alliance Club.
fucking I can't figure it out. I'm trying. This is where our Patreon money is going for the quarter that ended September 30. I'm trying.
we're working
I'm
on
fucking
it.
trying.
You might just be rolling up with a check.
I don't know. I can't figure it out. So I'm working on it. So
That's unfortunate, but probably good feedback. Like,
I hope they're listening to this
I'm
because like
sorry,
I
but-
can't
Just give you
get
money.
it to
Can't
work.
figure out how
I
to
want
give you money.
Donate to you, please.
that's an important thing.
Take my dollars.
I can't figure out how to give you money. They need to know that that is a problem.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it is. But that is where the money will go at some point.
Have we figured out another charity that we're giving to for our next charity donation?
I don't think we've
No?
announced it yet.
All right, we're gonna think about it
We should decide not.
and we'll announce it, and probably with our last quarter's donation,
Mm-hmm.
we'll announce our next quarter's donation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Well, I could also just like quickly follow up about last week's little segment about the Marshall White Center.
I think that would be helpful.
There was a city council meeting on Tuesday regarding the issue, a work session of the city council, which was public, and I hope that things are moving along. They seem like they want to dedicate it as a cultural center for the community and kind of downgrade it, which is definitely not the direction that we want to go.
What's the difference? Like, they don't have to fix the pool?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the biggest things that came up during the session, during the part that I was present for, was that they were super interested in the YMCA because they were super interested in programming, and the mayor kept saying over and over and over again, like, I don't feel like cities are good at doing programming for these kinds of facilities. We're good at doing maintenance. We're good at cutting the lawn and taking care of the plants and like
I feel like
taking
you
care
decide
of
whether
the
you're good at that or
janitorial.
not.
Yeah,
Like,
but he was like, I
it's
don't.
Stand up
part
a
of-
group to like,
Yeah, you form a
Make the
committee, you throw
programs
money
then.
behind it, and then they can do programming.
Yeah, I don't know. He
Can
was
we-
like, I just haven't seen a good. The mayor said, I have not seen a good model. He said that he had formerly worked with youth in previous years for 8 years, and alluded to how great it was for kids from those neighborhoods to be able to come into these neighborhoods that had these beautiful, nice facilities, and they got to like get on a bus and come up and visit these beautiful facilities as a reward, basically. Like, they got good grades or they did some great thing, and so like they were rewarded by getting to come up and spend a day
living the life
living
of a
a-
rich white person.
Yeah, that's
horrible.
I mean,
That's really
those
fucking
aren't the
cringy.
words that
That's
he
gross.
said, but that is how it played to me. So
That's bad.
You're paraphrasing.
yes,
We're paraphrasing
I am
here.
paraphrasing.
We're not
Absolutely,
quoting.
I'm not quoting, but that is what played out to me when I heard that statement, and it was absolutely cringy. And this meeting started at 4:00. And it was like, I signed off at 6:15, and it was still going on until like 9:30 that night.
But they did end up opening it up to public comment, which initially,
Which is why it went
it
on
was
until
not
9:30.
allowed, and there was enough people who threw a fit, so at least there was a public commentary happening.
I'm just going to say that when I run for mayor, it's going to be a pleasure for those East Side rich kids to come to the West Side rec centers and enjoy the beautiful
Bounty.
the bounty of the pools and the tennis courts and the basketball courts and the structures and the marble.
That downtown Ogden has to offer.
Absolutely.
I don't want to draw this out too much longer, but I'm just really curious about how the site was chosen originally. And like, obviously there was some thought or some logical reasoning that went into building it where it is.
Well, the name was the facility was dedicated to a community leader who was a black police officer named
I know
Marshall
that.
White.
And you
he-
said that
and-
last time.
I know, but like, that's like, it was built in honor of this guy
But I'm
who
just
was
saying,
servicing this fallen man who
Right.
was taking care of that area, you know?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, there was obviously thought that went into putting it there.
Right.
And so why are we ignoring all of the thought that put it there?
Because the demographic has changed.
Because the demographic has changed, and there's a bunch of white people that have a lot of money that live on the east side, and they can fund, the city council can get funding from the east side neighborhood to build a new facility because they're like, oh, great, our kids are going to go there. But if they put a tax proposal onto everybody's bill and say, oh, it's going to be on the west side of Washington Boulevard, then all these people that live high up on the bench are going to be like, oh, I can't believe you're taxing us to pay for a facility in that
For
neighborhood.
poor people.
Yes, exactly.
I will say.
Well, that's what I'm asking is like, has that ever been a rich person neighborhood? Like, I just don't understand why all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is like where poor people live. We don't care about poor people.
No, but the whole thing, that's the problem, is like ever since the facility was built in the 60s, it has not been properly like cared for and maintained. It was like the money was allocated for it and they built it, and then like it just kind of like nobody ever put it on a schedule of like what needed, like it just kind of was led to fall to wherever it would fall.
I'm just curious about where the money came from, where the idea came. Like, well, I know that why it was named and like what it was named after, but I'm just curious about the history of it and why now it's so much of a burden. And it was never like a burden before, but now all of a sudden it's like this thing where we got to like put it on a scale and we have to weigh whether or not it's worth it all of a sudden.
I think it's because the
it's
YMCA
been around for
thing.
however long.
Well,
This is now a new thing that's like entered into the whole
that
arena.
has for sure propelled it, but I think that there's also a greater sense of like some people, not most people, but some people starting to like look through the cracks and see who's being left out and being like, oh, because like this issue's been going on with the Marshall White Center for quite some time. And I think that, yes, it has just kind of slid through the cracks for a long time as like nobody's really paid attention to it. And I feel like it kind of caught on to some people that were like, this is not right, that started to make a fuss about it and have rang enough people's alarms.
But we're not mature enough in the city of Ogden to just handle it in an appropriate way. We want to just...
I don't know.
We just want to sweep it under a rug or move on or whatever. And that's...
Absolutely. Because if that wasn't the case, this would have been dealt with before the election.
Right.
I saw some really incredible like testimony, if you will, of people that finally got a chance to stand up for public comment after sitting in the city council chambers for however many hours
or something ridiculous.
Finally got a chance to like stand up and give public comment, and there were some really powerful people that are just you know, in quotations, regular ass people from Ogden that like stood up and challenged the city council. And I think that's a good thing. And I think we're making progress, but I think we're just in the very beginning processes of it, even though this battle's been going on for years. Like it still needs to be a fire lit under all of their asses all the time.
This is crazy to me that it exists. It was put there.
It's an issue.
And now it's like, you want to pretend it doesn't exist?
Like, it's like you get a puppy and then you're like, oh, I have to buy it food again?
Yes. That's exactly the sentiment that I'm
That's
like.
how it feels.
What's the history here? Did you get it as an Easter present?
Yeah.
And it wasn't really your choice? Like, what is the history? It's been here for so long, and you can't just now say that we don't want to deal with it anymore.
But we'll deal with this other thing, like...
Yeah.
Oh, these people have funding, and the rich neighborhoods are going to fund it, and they have programming. So yeah, let's like there has to be a way.
And what are you going to do with it?
Why can't
if
we have exist? Why can't there just be two? Yeah, like if the rich people can fund the YMCA, or the YMCA can fund the YMCA, and then the city can fund a city rec center, why can't we just do that?
Because they're not willing to fund.
Well, because it'll cost us $1 a month in taxes.
They specifically said no matter what we do, we cannot, it's not just like a matter of us working it into the city budget, which I understand. But they're like, so it would come out as a tax increase, which, as we all know, it comes out as a proposed tax increase, and then everybody votes and it wouldn't happen. So it wouldn't come through that way. So it has to be able to come through some channels of like, either the city would have to sell off some asset that they had to fund it, or they would have to publicly fund it,
or do a fundraiser.
I don't know why the city has assets.
This is not an unforeseen expense.
That's exactly like, why are we even in this position, and why have they been dodging this?
This is what I'm trying to get to, is like, I don't understand. It's been here for 50 years or however long. Yeah. And now it's, we don't have any money. What do you mean? It's been here.
It's because they've been neglecting it for years and years and years and years. And now it's to the point where it is in need of a great deal of money.
Just to get it up to code.
Yeah, well, that's your own fucking fault.
Yeah.
I will say that only a couple of years ago, we, the community, voted down a tax increase that would put air conditioning in an elementary school.
Yeah.
That has never had air conditioning.
Because we were just like, I don't want to pay $12 more a year.
Yes.
I just
so
can't
like,
believe that.
I'm not surprised, and I just think it's horrifying.
And we don't even have kids. And we're
know.
I will vote for...
Please raise my taxes so that
$12
little children
a year.
have air conditioning.
Jesus. Yeah.
It's just the dumbest thing
But people
ever.
do that, and it blows my mind.
But I also, to that,
It's not
I
their
think
kids.
that yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I
it's not
agree
their
with everything all of you have said, but I also think that a lot of people really do not understand the ordinances. I feel like it's not presented so clear that it's just like, if you vote option A, this is what you're voting for, and if you vote option B, this is what you're voting for. Like, I feel like for some people they need and sometimes even myself, I need like really clear, like,
Yes.
because I'm like, okay, I know what I feel about this issue, but like, I'm not really exactly sure which box to check based
we're looking
on
at the ballot, and it's
yes.
like option, like whatever number A. Do you vote yes or for or against? And then I'm like, okay, well I need to fucking figure this out.
Yes.
Because then you'll read like 4 paragraphs, and the very last paragraph will like switch. If you vote agree, then you're voting not to do all these things.
Right. And then you're like, wait.
Yes.
Wait, what am I voting for?
Wait, do I agree or not?
So you have to do that like 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very confusing.
They do it on purpose. I mean, and we can go down a whole rabbit hole about voting, and we shouldn't. But to me, it's just sort of asinine that a building has existed on the budget for the city for however long, and everyone agreed to it at some point. But now all of a sudden it's a burden, and now all of a sudden we need to like have some come to Jesus moment about it, where it's like, no,
it's on them for neglecting it for all these years.
Yeah, it's on you. Make it right.
They've been waiting for Elon Musk to come in.
We're not moving it. We don't need to move it. It needs to stay where it is. Like, people's whole lives have revolved around that place at this point. Yeah. There are generations, multiple generations of people and families that have used this facility. And I don't know why it's bad to continue to do that. And I don't know why it's even really like so much of a question when it's been a line item on your budget for decades.
And if it's been a line item on your budget and it's at $0 for decades, then why didn't anyone like fucking look at that and say,
we should start some fundraising for this?
And why aren't we like spending money on it?
Why did it get to where it is? Like, how did they let it get so bad?
That's my question.
Yeah.
Well,
but either way,
fucked up.
We don't need a YMCA on the East Bench.
We really don't.
What we do need on the East Bench? I'll go ahead and say it. A fucking dog park.
A dog park, yes.
Because I go to the park and there are just reams of people
hoity-toity assholes
throwing balls to their dogs, not on a leash. Okay.
We need a dog park.
We
on
need a
East
dog
Bench.
park somewhere on the East Bench, please, because these people are not going to take their dogs to the dog park. They're just going to pretend like they own the place and they're going to throw their balls to their
And then
dogs
maybe
in
a
the
Trader
park.
Joe's.
Also a Trader Joe's.
Also, a
Thanks,
neighborhood bar in the East Bench neighborhood would be great.
Could we get some restaurants up here too? Like a
Yeah. Can I walk
We're
to a
starting a
restaurant,
list.
please? It'd be great
Indian
if I
food
had some
place.
walkable places.
a Mexican food place.
Here's the problem. You can't open a Mexican restaurant within 500 feet of a Mormon church.
I think
It's
that's
in
a
the code.
rule, yeah, because of the moles.
Yeah. The moles make it
They're too spicy.
unlawful.
And no tequila.
Yeah. That's the problem.
That would be the problem. All right, this has been Toasted Lavender, a podcast where we talk about queer things and
Moles.
drink beer and moles
And
and queer icons
A lot of-
Cafe.
and Rose's Cafe.
I like that you reimagined Prince as a queer icon instead of just calling him Prince.
Prince, the queer icon.
Yeah. Well, at least it said Prince and you're like, queer icons. I like
Just-
that. It's just like an upgrade. It's just like a...
We might have a whole series of queer icons, and
We
I've
are.
just kicked it off.
What would be the next one? Has anyone thought about that?
I think Tori Amos.
Okay.
Tori Amos is coming up
I
next.
thought about David Bowie.
I think there's an Amanda Palmer episode. in
Amanda
our
Palmer.
future.
Boy.
Oh my god.
Can Amanda Palmer be a queer icon yet?
Oh, she absolutely is.
Yeah, she
All right.
is. I
All
think, I
right.
agree. It's
I'm
a
here for
weirdo
it.
queerdo, but it is.
We're all
It's
weirdo
like as
queers.
if we were doing a David Bowie episode in like 1990 with
No,
Amanda
Have
Palmer.
you-
She's out and proud.
Have you ever seen the
She's done a lot. for
Um,
the community.
where David Bowie, I think he was at the Grammys, and he was like, he comes out and he's like, ladies and gentlemen and others. And everyone's like, woo!
And others.
and others.
He's
It's like a
always been a queerdo.
Simpsons
He always is.
character.
Yeah.
And others.
And
You sound
they.
like Snape from Harry Potter.
Oh my god.
We've been watching Harry Potter.
Cheers, Cop Kid, and
That'd be-
go listen to
The new
Lucky. She's so lucky. She's a star. She cray, cray,
Here it is again, people.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Then I do these tears.
Cut. Cut.
I'll cut it when I'm damn well ready to.
Did you see your eyeballs?
No, I don't really look right into the eyeballs.
That's your wife.
Well, right, but
Good
I don't
point.
recreationally look into her eyeballs.
Oh.
Not recreationally. Only what? Professionally?
Yeah, Lisa, we're
Medically.
married.
Well, all right.
Only within our marriage, okay?
Which is not recreational.
No.
No, I'm sorry, but if you're married, it's no longer recreational. I think you've given up recreation at that point.
Have we?
Okay, so maybe
Yeah, you
we
have.
need to define
Wait.
recreation.
All right.
Wait, are we wrong?
Prince episode?
Yeah, you're right. It's not a marriage.
No, this is
Oh,
outtake. This is
marital-
perfect for outtakes.
We're not talking
This is
about
great.
marital ambiguity.
First of all, most of that was a joke. Second of all, we'll move
Was
on.
it a joke to you? Because you said you wouldn't look into her eyes.
Okay,
so-
you'll just have to figure out what was a joke and what wasn't.
Our listeners will have to figure that out.
We'll talk. to
And
guys
you, as the
later.
editor, will have to figure that out.
I'm gonna leave it all in.
Ooh.